Friends from media, good afternoon. Welcome to today's regular press conference. Now the floor is open.
谢谢发言人。总台央视记者提问：中方发布了法。
China announced that French President Emmanuel Macron will pay a state visit to China. Can you brief us on the program of the visit? How does China view its current relations with France? And what does China expect to achieve through the upcoming visit? It will be President Macron's fourth state visit to China, and a reciprocal visit to President Xi Jinping's historic state visit to France last year that marked the 60th anniversary of China-France diplomatic relations. During the upcoming visit, President Xi Jinping will hold talks with President Macron to jointly guide the development of the bilateral relationship under new circumstances and have in-depth exchange of views on major international and regional hotspot issues. Premier Li Qiang and Chairman Zhao Leji of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress will meet with President Macron respectively. France is the first major Western country to establish diplomatic relations at the ambassadorial level with the People's Republic of China. The China-France relationship has a precious history, unique values, and an important mission. In recent years, under the strategic guidance of President Xi and President Macron, the two countries have had close exchanges at various levels, fruitful practical cooperation, and effective coordination on multilateral affairs. As we speak, the international situation is fluid and turbulent. Through the upcoming visit, China stands ready to work with France to champion the spirit that guided the establishment of China-France diplomatic ties, step up strategic communication, deepen practical cooperation, work for closer coordination on multilateral affairs, make new progress in China-France comprehensive strategic partnership, and make greater contribution to promoting the sound and steady development of China-EU relations, upholding multilateralism and safeguarding world peace, stability, and prosperity.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
发言人好，环球时报记者提问：日本首相高市早苗次。
Japanese Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi said previously that having renounced all rights and claims under the Treaty of San Francisco, we are not in a position to recognize Taiwan's legal status. Japan's Foreign Minister, when asked about whether it means that Japan does not recognize China's sovereignty over Taiwan, repeated what's said in the Treaty of San Francisco and said that our government's basic position on Taiwan is as stated in the 1972 joint statement and nothing more and nothing less, was her comment. The Japanese side has been ambiguous on its position concerning the Taiwan question. They deliberately chose not to mention the Cairo Declaration, the Potsdam Proclamation, and Japanese instrument of surrender that stated in explicit terms that Taiwan shall be restored to China. The four political documents between the two countries that constitute the political foundation of China-Japan relations, and the Japanese government's commitment to the One China position. The Japanese side kept sidestepping the issue by just repeating that its position remains unchanged without fully articulating what the position is. What the Japanese side deliberately chose not to mention is probably not only its position on the Taiwan question. Today marks the 82nd anniversary of the Cairo Declaration. Besides the declaration, a series of international legal treaties and instruments stipulate China's sovereignty over Taiwan and are important outcomes of the World Anti-Fascist War, which constitutes an integral part of the post-war international order. Observing relevant provisions is the obligation that the Japanese side must fulfill under international law and a prerequisite for Japan to be accepted again by the international community. The Japanese side now says nothing about the above-mentioned instruments with full effect under international law, but keeps bringing up a treaty that was signed with the exclusion of Asian countries, especially China, who has suffered the most from Japan's colonial rule. This is a disregard for the painful memory of Japan's militarist aggression, a distortion of the history of and truth behind the World Anti-Fascist War, and a blatant challenge to the United Nations authority and the post-war international order. In recent years, Japan has been drastically readjusting its security policy, increasing defense spending year after year, and planning to revise its 3 non-nuclear principles. Certain forces in Japan are trying every means to break free from the pacifist constitution and attempt to turn their back to Japan's obligations as a defeated country stipulated in international law. They have never, ever truly taken lessons from history, never faced up to or done soul-searching about Japan's untold war crimes, and never taken real actions to counter the reviving militarism. Rather, they attempt to whitewash and deliberately make no specific mention of their aggression, to let the world forget that history and relax their restrictions. Such kind of approach will not deceive people around the world. The course of history must not be reversed, and the bottom line of peace must not be crossed. Japan prevaricated to downplay the situation while continuing down the wrong path. China would absolutely not accept that. On major issues of right and wrong, Japan should harbor no illusion that somehow the issue would resolve itself. We urge the Japanese side to learn from history, do soul-searching, take seriously what it has heard from the Chinese side, earnestly retract the erroneous remarks, and take practical steps to honor its political commitments to China. Next one, please.
Thank you. A question from Reuters. I just wanted to...
路透社关于马克龙将访华，习近平主席一般只在北京接见外国领导人，那么他陪马克龙去成都有什么重要意义？
China has maintained some communication and exchanges with France. China attaches great importance to maintaining communication on important global issues. On the specific visit, we will release information at time. Please stay tuned. Next one, please.
发言人好，中新社记者提问：近日，日本政府在东京领土主权。
The Japanese government recently added 3 sets of so-called records in its National Museum of Territory and Sovereignty in Tokyo as so-called evidence to back Japan's illegal claims over Diaoyu Islands. What is China's comment? Diaoyu Islands and its affiliated islands have been China's territory since ancient times. China's sovereignty over Diaoyu Islands has clear-cut historical evidence and solid legal basis. Proofs in this regard are numerous and can be found even in Japan's diplomatic records, maps, and articles of historians. The so-called historical records that Japan made so much efforts to patch up were quoted out of context and not convincing at all, and this only proves that Japan's illegal claims do not hold water. Next one, please.
Thank you, Reuters.
路透社海外的香港人发起了一项请愿活动，要求政府就大埔大火问责。许多人也对参与请愿活动的香港人被捕提出批评，外交部对此有何回应？
这不是个外交。
This is not related to foreign affairs. I'd refer you to the government of the Hong Kong SAR.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
Australia's Defence Minister.
澳大利亚国防部长称，澳国防部在监控菲律宾海的一支中国海军舰队，并称这支舰队可能正前往澳大利亚。舰队要开往哪里？目的是什么？中方对澳方的立场有何回应？
关于中国。
On Chinese Navy's activities, I'd refer you to the competent authorities. I would like to point out that Chinese fleets have always been respecting and observing international law and carry out maritime activities in accordance with the international law.
下一个问题，
Next one, please.
Dan Murtaugh with Bloomberg.
彭博社根据当地媒体报道，上周末在上海，一名日本歌手被终止了演出，而另外一个演出也在周六被中断。外交部对这些演出被取消有何评论？
For the specifics on and reasons behind the operation of these social and commercial activities, I'd refer you to competent authorities. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。北京青年报记者提问：我们注意到11月30日吉尔吉。
What's China's comment on Kyrgyzstan's early parliamentary elections held on November 30th? What's China's comment? China congratulates the Kyrgyzstan on the successful early parliamentary elections. At the invitation of Kyrgyzstan, China sent a group to observe the elections and believes that elections are democratic, open, and transparent. China highly commends that, and as a friendly neighbor and comprehensive strategic partner, supports the choice made by the people of Kyrgyzstan. We are confident that under the leadership of President Sadr Japarov, Kyrgyzstan will ensure long-term stability and make new and greater achievements in national development and rejuvenation. China stands ready to work with Kyrgyzstan to earnestly implement the important common understandings reached between the two heads of states, step up mutual support, deepen mutually beneficial cooperation on all fronts, and work for sustained and steady progress in building a China-Kyrgyzstan community with a shared future.
下一个问题，
Next one, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Any more question?
好，那今天的。
This is the end of today's regular press conference. Thank you.